This is 6 Minute English from bbclearningenglish.com.
Hello, I'm Alice, and this is 6 Minute English. Thanks to Rob for joining me today. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Alice.
We're talking about something that most people have to do at some point in their lives: leave home.
Some people can't wait to leave home and become independent, but plenty more will be happy to stay living with their parents and family at home.
Many countries have legal limits for the age somebody can leave home. In the UK, you can drive a car at 17, buy alcohol and vote at the age of 18. But what age can you leave home with your parents' permission? Is it A, 18, B, 17, C, 16?
I think you can get married at 16, can't you? So, is it 16?
I'm not telling you yet. We'll find out the correct answer at the end of the programme. What's interesting is how more and more people are staying at home longer in the UK. There's even a word for it. It's called the boomerang generation.
A boomerang, as in the Australian tool that comes back to you when you throw it.
Exactly. You should be able to see a photo of one on our website. The boomerang generation are young people who leave home to go to university, but then return to live with their parents when they've finished their studies.
So they leave home, but come back to their parents again after studying. And how long do they stay at home after they finish university?
It varies, but the latest official figures show that the number of graduates returning home after university has increased by a third in the last 20 years. Here's the BBC's Tim Muffet.
The boomerang generation is booming. According to the Office for National Statistics, around 15% of female graduates move back home. For male graduates, the figure's 22%. That's an increase of almost a third in 20 years. And with a lack of jobs for the class of 2010, the numbers are expected to rise.
The boomerang generation is booming.
Do we know why so many more students are returning to live at home?
Most of the reasons are economic. Students are finding it difficult to get jobs after they finish their studies, so they can't afford to pay for their own place to live.
I imagine it depends on where you choose to live. Some students do a house or flat share where they can split the rent with other young people.
But some students have such big debts after paying for university, they can't afford to do a house or flat share with other people. It's easier to go home to their parents and try and save some money. The BBC's Tim Muffet went to meet recent graduate Kate and her mother Janice. Kate had to move back in with her parents after leaving university.
I was about independence, because with living in university you get all the independence of doing what you want to do and not being regimented by what you watch on the television.
We lost our privacy because suddenly there's somebody else in the house. Yeah, we wouldn't sling her out, much as we'd like to sometimes.
Are you relieved to hear that?
Yeah.
Kate's complaining that she's lost her independence. At university, she got to do what she wanted.
She says she could watch what she wanted on TV. It wasn't regimented.
Regimented. That's a military term, meaning there are strict rules that have to be followed, like a regiment.
What about her parents?
Let's listen again to what Kate's mum Janice said.
We lost our privacy because suddenly there's somebody else in the house. Yeah, we wouldn't sling her out, much as we'd like to sometimes.
Kate's mum Janice says she's lost her privacy because suddenly there's someone else in the house.
I hope she's joking when she says we wouldn't sling her out.
I hope she's joking. She wouldn't really ask her daughter Kate to leave the family home. Let's hear from one more person today. This is Professor of Sociology Jill Jones, who's been speaking to lots of young people about returning home after university. She thinks life for the boomerang generation is very difficult.
If young people can't become independent when they're technically adults, then it creates all sorts of problems about what does it mean to be adult? Are young people willing to defer adulthood? What are parents taking on when they have children? How long are they going to be responsible for them?
Young people are technically adult. They're officially adults because they can vote, get married and live on their own, but because they're having to return home to their parents, there can be problems.
Professor Jill Jones says they have to defer adulthood.
This means they have to wait till they leave home again before they can really feel like adults.
and parents are having to be responsible for children for many more years than they expected.
Which brings me to the question I asked earlier. What is the legal age for children to be allowed to leave home in the UK? Was it A, 18, B, 17, C, 16?
I'm guessing 16.
You're right. You can also get married at age 16 if you have your parents' permission in the UK. Shall we have a quick recap of the vocabulary we've come across today?
Leave home. Independent. Legal limit. Boomerang. Booming. House or flat share. Debts. Regimented. Technically. Adulthood.
Well, that's all we've got time for today. Thanks for joining us and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
That was 6 Minute English from bbclearningenglish.com.